Good morning, everybody. Today I want to talk about dowels. A couple months ago I posted a video on my super simple dowel making jig, and I got a few questions on it that I wanted to answer. Also, if you go to the big box store or the local hardware store to buy dowels, they're never the same size. If you go in to buy a 1/2-inch dowel, it's a 32nd, a 64th, one way or the other. Trying to find that perfect 1/2-inch dowel is almost, well, not impossible, but difficult. So this way you make your own dowels. They're always the right size, and if you need it in oak, walnut, cherry, maple, you can make your own instead of having to go out and try to find one at a specialty place, which is, expensive. So let's get started. Are you guys still here? A super easy method I use is I just drill a hole in a piece of metal. If I need a 3/8 dowel, I'll take a 3/8 metal bit, drill a hole through it. Now you can just leave it just like that and run your, point the piece of wood, put a point on the piece of wood that you want to run through, shove it in there and really push, and it'll cut. And it creates a nice clean dowel. But it takes a lot of effort, and you really got to yank on it to get it to do what you want to do. An easier way is just to take a file or a Dremel tool and rough up the edges around the outside of the hole, and that creates little tiny teeth, and it'll cut through that wood a lot quicker. And especially when I use a lot of Brazilian cherry and ipe, really hard woods to make dowels with, you want to have that little extra bit to cut the hole. And the way I go about that is real simple. I'll just take a Dremel tool like this one, and just create a few teeth around the edge, and then I'll sharpen the point of the piece I want to push through and push it through there on a drill, and those act like little teeth and cut the edges really well. You have to clean it up a little bit with some sandpaper, but it works great. Not too shabby. Okay, so I've made two dowels. Now one I gave a real light sanding to kind of clean up the edges a little bit, and the other one I've left in the rough. I've just left the little cut marks that are in it. And the reason I would do something like that is if I was going to cut little small sections of dowel out and use this for a glue up or maybe to cap a screw hole with, I like to have it a little bit rough for better adhesion. If I'm going to use something you're going to see, I'll sand that out. And just a light sanding is all it needs to make it look nice. And then I've drilled two holes. I drilled a 3/8 hole with the brad point bit and a 3/8 hole with a standard drill bit. And to test the fit, I'll just take the dowel and run it in there, and that's a really nice tight fit. That would be great for lining up or gluing up a top or boards. And that's the one I left in the rough. And then this is the one I left, I'd sanded just a little bit. And surprisingly enough, the fit is it goes in just a tiny bit easier, but it's still very, very nice snug fit. Nothing that would be noticeable. So if you need to make some wooden dowels, I would really encourage you to try this method. It's really easy. Just about anybody can set it up, and before you know it, you'll be making dowels like a pro. Thanks for watching, guys.